Welcome to the deep dive. You're here because, well, you want to get straight to the point, right? Cut through the noise.
hmm
Today, we're jumping right into a really intense situation. It's pulled from the Millennium Trilogy.
Yeah, it's this collision course, basically.
Yeah.
You've got Lisbeth Salander, Mikael Blomkvist, and this pretty shadowy network inside the Swedish Security Service, SEPO.
SAPO, that's like their MI5 or FBI,
Yeah.
for context. National Security.
Exactly. And the sources you shared, they drop us right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Violence, police messing up, Blomkvist doing his own digging.
And hints of a conspiracy inside SAPO itself.
Chilling hints, yeah.
Okay, so let's try and unpack this. It's a lot. The mission for this deep dive is basically to pull apart these threads.
Mm.
Who are the key players? What makes them tick?
And find those surprising connections that start popping up.
Exactly. Give you that shortcut to understanding what on earth is going on. So where do we start? It's pure chaos.
I think the immediate aftermath, the physical scene, is the place to begin. It's
Yeah.
brutal. We learn Lisbeth Salander's been shot in the head twice, and incredibly, no exit wound.
Twice. Wow.
And then there's her father, Alexander Zalachenko. He's not exactly an innocent bystander here, but he's badly hurt too. Axe wound, leg injury, all at this farmhouse.
Right, the farmhouse. And Blomkvist just walks into this. What does he do?
Well, he's hardly a trained medic, you know? He does this really basic first aid on Salander with duct tape.
Duct tape. Seriously. You can just picture the paramedics showing up to that.
I mean, yeah, it speaks volumes, doesn't it? Just how desperate things were.
And then what? He just waits.
No, he actually grabs Zalachenko's associate, this guy Ronald Niederman, a pretty imposing figure, apparently. Blomkvist holds him at gunpoint.
Okay, taking charge. But this is where things go sideways with the police, isn't it?
Oh, completely sideways. Officer Paulson shows up, sees Blomkvist with a gun, and arrests him for illegal weapon possession.
You're kidding. What about Niederman? The guy Blomkvist caught.
Paulson seems to barely investigate him, even though Niederman was found tied to a moose crossing sign, which is just bizarre.
Tied to a moose sign. Okay, that's
Oh.
memorable. But the officer focuses on Blomkvist.
Yeah. Total failure to assess the situation properly. You have to wonder what he was thinking.
It sounds almost like dark comedy, but the consequences,
Yeah.
they weren't funny at all, were they?
Tragically real. Blomkvist actually tried to warn them about Niederman, told them he was dangerous.
And they ignored him.
Seems like it. And because of that, another officer, Ingemarson, ends up dead when he goes to investigate Niederman later. A death Blomkvist was trying to prevent.
Oh, that's awful. Really highlights the danger of just jumping to conclusions, ignoring witnesses.
Definitely. And the direct result, the police investigation shifts focus significantly.
How so?
Well, that initial idea, the preliminary investigation into Salander for trying to kill her father, that seems to just get shelved.
So they dropped that.
It appears so. And their attention, finally, tragically, turns towards Niederman.
It really shows how initial biases or assumptions can just derail everything, even lead to fatalities.
Yeah, you get locked into one story and miss the obvious danger right in front of you.
So while the police are fumbling, Blomkvist is already trying to figure things out himself.
Exactly. He starts telling the detectives what he knows about Zalachenko, piecing the backstory together.
Is Niederman connected to other things?
There's suspicion, yeah. Maybe other murders back in Stockholm. But the sources are clear. There's no solid forensic evidence linking him directly. Not yet, anyway.
And Blomkvist. Is he telling the police everything he knows?
That's the interesting part. No, he isn't. He holds back some evidence, specifically Berman's computer.
Gurman. Salander's former guardian. Right, the corrupt one. Why keep his computer back?
To protect Salander, it's a classic move, isn't it? When you think the system might be compromised, you start working outside it.
Yeah, I guess you have to. It raises that whole question, what do you do when the official channels might be part of the problem?
Exactly. What are the ethics there? When do you decide to take things into your own hands?
And this is where Annika Gianni comes in, Blomkvist's sister.
Right, the lawyer. She becomes aware of just how much trouble Salander is in, legally speaking. Sees a big fight ahead.
And what's her first move?
She tries to get hold of a specific SAPO report, Björk's report, from Millennium magazine where Blomkvist works.
Ah, Björk. That name comes up again later. Why does she want that report specifically?
It suggests she already suspects this goes deeper than just the farmhouse incident, that maybe SAPO is involved somehow in Salander's past troubles.
And asking Millennium for it, that causes issues.
Oh, yeah. causes tension inside the magazine, and you can bet it sets off alarm bells over at Sapo.
Meanwhile, back in the magazine, Erica Berger steps up.
Yes, she takes over as acting editor-in-chief. Seems like just an internal shuffle, but it becomes really important later.
Because Millennium might publish something explosive.
Precisely. Berger's leadership is going to be crucial.
Okay, so this Seppo connection, that leads us right into the conspiracy emerging, doesn't it?
It really does. The sources give us this fascinating, almost fly-on-the-wall view of these high-ranking Seppo guys talking. Goldberg, Wadenjo, Nystrom, Sandberg.
And what are they worried about?
They're clearly concerned about this whole situation with Zalachenko, and maybe even more concerned about Lisbeth Salander.
And why her specifically?
Well, they're really anxious about that 1991 police report by Bjork. They seem terrified that Millennium will publish it.
The same report Gianni wants.
The very same. They quickly realize Salander might be the link connecting various incidents from the past. It suggests they already knew about her, knew there was a history they wanted buried.
So, a simple, well, not simple, but a violent incident suddenly makes a national security agency very nervous.
Speaks volumes, doesn't it? And out of that concern, this guy Goldberg starts forming a plan.
What kind of plan?
Seems to involve manipulating Zalachenko, controlling the information, basically suppressing the truth, trying to keep a lid on things.
And then we get that crucial bit of info.
The game changer. Zalachenko was a Soviet defector.
Ah, which puts him directly under Sapo's protection. Or control.
Under their purview, absolutely. Suddenly, this isn't just about family violence or police mistakes. It's Cold War stuff, intelligence agency business.
Right. And connecting that back.
Yeah.
The idea that Salander was maybe institutionalized unfairly.
It starts to look much more sinister in that light, doesn't it? The sources suggest a coordinated effort, maybe going back years.
Based on a potentially fake psychiatric report.
That's the implication, involving Dr. Teleborian and this same guy, Bjork. It points towards a deliberate strategy by someone in Sapo to control Salander.
Why? Because of her connection to Zalachenko?
Hmm?
The secrets he might know.
It seems the most likely reason. It wasn't just about her mental health. It looks calculated, a way to silence or discredit her.
And this Goldberg figure.
Yeah.
The sources mention something odd about him.
Yeah, apparently after he officially retired, there's like no professional footprint, no record, vanished from the official history almost.
Which just adds to the suspicion, right?
Yeah.
Suggests he's operating off the books.
Deepens the whole sense of secrecy. And then there's the mention of the Zalachenko Club.
The what now?
The Zalachenko Club, a suspected small secret group inside Sapo, operating since the Cold War apparently. Very hush-hush.
Wow. A secret club within the Secret Service. That raises huge questions about accountability, doesn't it? Unchecked power.
Absolutely. It taps into those real-world anxieties about, deep state elements operating outside any real oversight.
So this club, they're likely behind the cover-up.
It seems very probable.
Yeah.
And we start seeing other people's actions aligning with this idea, like Dr. Jonassen, the surgeon who operated on Salander.
Did he notice?
He notes her psychological state, seems wary, but also specifically expresses concern about Dr. Teleborian. Hints strongly at past issues, maybe unethical treatment.
So even her doctor suspects something's wrong with her past psychiatric care.
It looks that way. Then you have Torsten Edklinth, another high-up figure in SAMO, or maybe SIS, the broader intelligence service.
What does he do?
He gets wind of potential illegal activity within Sapo.
Ah, so someone on the inside is starting to realize something's rotten.
Exactly. And this triggers an internal investigation by Inspector Figueroa. She's in the political crimes unit, the people who handle sensitive stuff, internal misconduct.
And do they find anything?
They discovered discrepancies in Bjork's report, the 1991 one, which backs up the idea that it might have been falsified, part of a cover-up.
Okay, so the net is tightening internally, maybe? But the conspirators are fighting back.
Seems like it. We see those classic smear tactics, like
Right.
planting cocaine in Blomkvist's apartment, trying to discredit him because he's getting too close.
Typical. And Salander, through all this, she's badly injured, facing charges.
But she's incredibly resilient, determined. Dr. Jonassen notes she's guarded, cautious, which makes sense, right? Self-preservation when you feel like everyone's against you.
Yeah, she must feel completely cornered.
And you can't forget Erica Berger back in Millennium. She's not just sitting back.
No. What's she up to?
She's leading assertively, investigating if someone inside the magazine might be trying to sabotage things, while also getting ready to publish this massive story.
Wow, that takes guts. Publishing this kind of stuff carries huge risks.
Absolutely. Personal, professional, Everything. It shows real commitment to journalism.
And Jeannie, the lawyer's sister, still trying to help Salander.
Still trying. But she's hitting walls. Salander doesn't trust easily, understandably. Years of trauma there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But Jeannie keeps pushing, especially for that Bjork report. She knows it's key to understanding the legal mess and maybe the whole Seppo conspiracy.
So, okay, we followed the threads. Violence, police errors, Blomkvist's digging, the Seppo conspiracy emerging. What are the big questions left hanging?
Well, top of the list has to be, what is this Zalachenko club really after? What's their end game? How much power do they actually wield?
And that Bjork report, what exactly does it say? How is it faked? The specific details are still missing.
Right. And the motivations of guys like Goldberg or others mentioned like Clinton and Schenke. What's really driving them? What secrets are so important?
Plus, Dr. Teleborian's exact role in Salander's past. Was he a willing participant the whole time? Or manipulated?
That's a huge question. And then there's the ticking clock. Millennium is about to publish.
What happens when that bomb drops? What's the fallout going to be?
And what about Blomkvist and Berger? They're putting themselves right in the line of fire. What are the risks to them personally, professionally?
It's a massive tangle. Crime, conspiracy, institutions betraying their purpose.
It really is. But these sources, they give us a pretty disturbing, compelling glimpse into that web. You now have, I think, a really solid grasp of the key events, the main players, and these conflicts just bubbling under the surface.
Conflicts that feel ready to explode.
Definitely.
So maybe the final thought to leave folks with, something to chew on.
Yeah.
What does it really mean when the agencies meant to protect us, like Seppo, start operating in the shadows, outside the rules?
What are the broader implications of that?
And how much power do individuals or the press, like Millennium, actually have to challenge those entrenched structures when they pursue the truth?
And think about the people caught in the middle, like Salander, like Blomkvist. What are the long-term costs for them being tangled in this web of deceit?
These are big questions. They go way beyond just this story, don't they?
Absolutely. They touch on real-world concerns about power, secrets, accountability, transparency. Worth thinking about.
Definitely. We hope this deep dive has given everyone a good framework, a way into understanding this really complex and pretty cautionary tale. Maybe even encourages you to check out the full story in the Millennium Trilogy.